All right. What's up, man?
What's happening?
State your name for the people that don't know you, man.
Name's Luvine Summers.
What's up, Mr. Levine? Can you tell me what you're doing now?
What I'm doing now, I'm working recovery. That's what I'm doing now. I'm working at the best I possibly can. I'm part owner of a recovery foundation, Rainbow Love Recovery Foundation.
Okay.
Y'all can check that out on the web too, if you'd like. And we're trying to build some recovery homes, man, and save lives.
Nice. Can you go to the beginning, like when the self-destruction started? Like where it started at?
Self-destruction with me started probably when you're little and you see your aunts, your uncles, your mother, your father, everybody sits around, they drink. So, once I started getting a little older, when I was young, I wanted to drink like they did.
How young?
Oh, man.
15.
Not good.
14.
15, I was already deep in.
Okay.
I'm talking like 8, 9. I had a cousin that was older and he would always want to take. I don't know why he always wanted me with him, but he always wanted me with him drinking. And so, that's what I did. I would sit in this little passenger seat and we'd be all over the place. And I'd be a little kid drinking. And then by the time I was probably like 11 or 12, I was like basically like a full-blown alcoholic. I could handle my liquor really good. Nobody really knew they knew, but what alcoholic was going to worry about a kid that's drinking? None. So it just is what it is. That's how it happened. I'm not trying to throw shade on my family or something like that, but it is what it is.
How was you getting alcohol at 9 and 10? People were giving it to your cousin and that's
drink.
It? So,
it's there. It's like,
Okay.
When you drink, you don't buy just enough.
Mm-hmm.
You buy, get it paid on Friday. You know how, it is in the black family. You go ahead and get us a gallon of this and, a case of that. And then before you know it, a couple uncles, aunts, friends come over. So always was being liquor in the house. And me, my sisters, we would, sneak it. First it was just sneaking. Then I had the best uncle in the world. He used to always want to be like, boy, hit this. So that's how it really started.
Okay, all right.
But anyway,
would you call him the best uncle in the world? Because you didn't know no better.
Well, because I didn't know no better. And I think if he knew what he know now, he would have never did anything like that.
Okay.
But, he's still my favorite uncle too.
To this day.
To this day.
Right.
But I started off early, man. But like I said, by the time I was like 11 or 12, it was like normal. When I was young, it was, when I was smaller, it was really fun. 11 or 12, it was still fun. By the time I turned about 15 or 16, that's when things started getting a little sketchy because, one, we moved. And we moved into a neighborhood that wasn't a very good neighborhood at the time.
Where'd you move to?
This was in Westminster, a little neighborhood called Mid-City.
Okay.
And it was just infested.
Infested with what?
Drugs.
Drugs.
Everybody sold, well, not everybody, but, you had working class people there, but that got home from work, smoked crack all day, after work, all night, whatever.
Uh-huh.
So, I seen it was an easy way for me to make some money. Quit school to sell drugs. Of course, use drugs. I think I started using the heroin when I was 15 years old.
So you were selling heroin at 15?
I was selling crack.
At 15?
Probably more like 14.
You were selling crack at 14?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it was too easy.
Okay.
It was just, it's right there. You walk out your front door, everybody in the neighborhood sells crack. Or if they don't sell it, they use it.
Mm-hmm.
So, why not be a convenience to someone at the time? You don't see it like, the way I see it now, of course I wasn't seeing it like that back then, but, I started off a little early. I came off the porch a little too early. And it grew me up the wrong way. So, of course, you know what that's going to come with. Using drugs and selling drugs. Next stop, prison. So, I first went to prison and...
Boy, yeah.
What?
Okay. You were selling drugs in Little City. What, Little Italy, you said?
No, Mid-City.
Mid-City.
Italy. That sounds... Come on, man.
All right, my bad.
Yeah.
I'm from New York, so you know how that is.
Yeah, y'all got a little Italy up there?
Yeah, we got a little
It's probably
Italy.
big Italy.
No, it's Little Italy. It's called because it's really small compared to how it is in Manhattan. But so you were hustling, selling drugs. Did you get into anything? Any trouble? Any fighting? Any beefs? Or how was that? How did that go? Like, is what
our neighborhood was like one of those protective kind of neighborhoods. So when one of us got into something, it was basically like all of us got into it. We was like, we all grew up together, and we kept it like that. When outsiders would come, we would try to push them out.
Okay.
Or exploit them in some type of a way. This neighborhood was one of those neighborhoods that was like in that little county, but it was, I don't know, they had another tier to it, man, for some reason. I don't know what was going on with it. But
so your first time using drugs, how did that happen? Like, how did that go?
Well, mind you, I started smoking weed early.
Okay.
So that's how everybody starts. You know, you drink a little bit, and you start smoking some weed. So I don't say 11 or 12, I was smoking weed. By the time I was 15, every day weed smoker. You know, St. Ives and a blunt. You know, I wanted to be like Method Man and them, so you know, I gotta do what I gotta do. Yeah, all right. You know. But so as I'm smoking my weed, I walk to my neighbor's house one day. I walk in there, and I'm laying on her couch. I'm smoking a blunt, drinking a 40, and she was like, "Boy, put that out, man. It stink." But the whole time I'm watching, they got some dope on the table. A nice little pile of dope. 2 females are sniffing. So they like, man, you need to just sniff this. This is like smoking 10 of them. So I was like, them numbers sound really good.
Okay.
You know, when you sell drugs, so numbers sound really good to you.
Okay.
A little bit of that is like smoking 10 of these. Let me hit that. Should never hit it. For a long time, I stayed away from it because I seen what it did.
So that first experience was like how? Like when do you remember it or you sniffed it and you was
Yeah,
gone?
I sniffed it. I started the itch game. I remember coming off. The itch game was serious, man.
Itch game.
And it was scrambled too, so you know the itch game was serious.
What's scramble? I mean, there's people
Scramble's Benita and quinine mixed with some raw.
Okay, don't give them the formula. I'm just saying. Okay, gotcha.
Well, you know, that's scramble.
Okay.
You got scramble and raw, you know.
So you were itchy.
You from New York, you should definitely know.
I know, but I've been talking to somebody watching.
I'm trying to let you two know.
They don't even see me. But go ahead.
So, you know, like I said, man, I started itching. I think I was all the way down to my boxer shorts. I got one of the chicks scratching my back, one of the chicks scratching my legs. I think I was scratching my arm. Then I spit up.
Okay.
The high head.
Okay.
I was like, oh yeah, I have arrived.
And we know now when you throw up, that's your body saying, hey, we ain't supposed to have this here.
Yeah, we ain't supposed to have this here, but then that's when you step up another level for some reason. I don't know what it is about the spit up game and the high. I was like, oh yeah. That was all right, but then I couldn't stop the feeling of wanting to spit up.
Okay.
So I was like, yeah, I don't like that. I ain't messing with that no more. I would say probably a month later, I have a morphine habit.
So you stopped using heroin and started using morphine?
No, it's the same thing pretty much.
Okay.
It was just morphine was a little bit stronger than that scramble.
Okay.
So my progression was like real fast. But anyway, once I started with the morphine, it went all downhill.
And you still haven't been locked up yet?
I had not been locked up yet. Well, I had been locked up as a juvenile, of course, for stealing some dirt bikes or something like that, but nothing major, you know what I'm saying? But, so I kicked, some kind of way, I was just like, man, I gotta kick this morphine habit. So I do. By changing over to raw dope.
Okay, so you started...
I didn't kick nothing.
So you
I just supplemented one for another.
Okay.
Thinking I'm doing something right. You know how the addict mind is. It makes you think you're doing all kinds of things, right? That really is stupid as hell. I mean, stupid as heck. But I'm going to try not to cuss.
It's a family show.
Yeah. So I'm going to try not to cuss. But anyway, that was my thing right there. Raw dope was like my thing. So from 15 on till lock up till just a couple years ago, raw dope for me all the way.
Okay.
And
And you were selling drugs at this time.
I was selling drugs to support my habit, thinking I was going to be this big, Nino Brown type of guy one day. I ain't make it.
So how'd your first incarceration go? Because you said you were doing drugs and selling drugs, and then...
Well, my first incarceration started... I think one time I got locked up just as in the county jail. I got locked up for stealing. Me and a homeboy, we used to run around stealing all the time. We got locked up for stealing. So, but that wasn't nothing. That was like, I don't know, 6 months or something.
Well, it was a big deal now, but it wasn't nothing back then.
Well, even then, now I look at it like sometimes when I look at it in retrospect, it's like they give you this small amount of time. They keep giving you these small amounts of time that lead up to bigger amounts of time. When if you get the big time first, you're going to learn a whole lot in this stretch. But doing these little skid bids here and there, I ain't learned nothing from them.
Okay. I
learned how to break me some more law. And I learned that it ain't that bad being there. Sick, but true. So I was like, what, 5 years? That ain't nothing.
So your first bit was 5 years, the first big one.
Well, my first big one, when I first went to the state, they gave me 15 years, all suspended but 6. I did 4 years and some change on that, came home.
How did that go in there?
Like, my first one?
The first, yeah, like what was the feeling? Like,
oh, man, I remember some of the feelings I had because, well, this is YouTube. I'll keep it with how it is. I'm light-skinned. I had braids back then, long hair. I'm like, man, these dudes going to eat me up in there. You hear all them stories, right?
Yes.
So I'm like, oh, man, and I'm boning. And I think when I got there, I weighed 135 pounds. So I'm like, I'm 135 pounds, light-skinned, long hair. They probably going to do something big with me up in this joint. But I don't know where, like, this switch hit in my brain, right? Because my parents didn't raise me to be a violent person.
Okay.
And right now today, I'm still not a violent person. Right now today, I'm actually scared as heck. Weird, but I'm scared of, like, there's still something that would be minute. I couldn't do it. Like my brain won't allow me. But I'm thinking about how violent I became over the years of incarceration, and
so
all of it is a defense mechanism at the end of the day.
So your first experience when you was incarcerated was like, how did it go? Like when you went in, and did you get into things that you never thought you would get into? Like,
well,
what happened?
I never got into gangs or anything like that because I was always like, and I didn't want anybody telling me what to do.
Okay.
Like I can't see somebody saying, yo, you need to go do this or do that, and why you ain't doing it. But I just never got into gangs. And sometimes it fared out good, sometimes.
So that first...
Majority of the time, but my first little bid wasn't that bad.
Did you get off drugs? Or was you using inside?
Oh, yeah, there's plenty of drugs there. Of course, that's more like my first go-to. I'm trying to find out who got that.
So your habit was still...
But I didn't have a habit, but I would use... When I could, find my way, I'm going to get that.
Okay.
But definitely didn't have a habit. But what I can say, the day I got released, I did 4 years. I forget how much exactly the number was. 4 years and some change. Straight home. Probably home like 2 hours.
Back at it.
Because I remember it was 2000. Oh man, what was it? Still reserved. I remember one of my cousins, he was like, boy, you got to try this. And that was some good beer. So I remember he was like, man, I got a little something. So I had it, because I was like, man, who got the smack? Because it's drinking. I'm going to have to drink all night. And you know how it is. Matter of fact, I remember when I got released, he picked me up.
Really quick, for the record, how long you been clean now? Because I don't think we said that in the beginning.
I've been clean for 2 years, going on 3 years now. I'll be clean 3 years.
3 years, no drugs, no drink, no nothing.
No drugs, no drink, nothing but cigarettes and coffee.
Okay. Because I don't think we said it in the beginning, so I don't want people to think.
I definitely didn't say that. But by the way, I got a sponsor. I actually do work the program of Alcoholics Anonymous.
You didn't have to say that, but
Yeah.
okay. You
Well,
refuse to be anonymous. I'm the same
I'm
way.
not. It's not. I said my name at the beginning, so I'm not anonymous anymore.
Okay. All right. So, all right. I just wanted to put that on there. So you came home from prison your first bit, and you was drinking Still Reserve
And sniffing dope.
and sniffing smack. Dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. Okay.
Yeah, smack is dope. But you know that. But anyway, I stayed home. I think 11 months.
11 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
11 months.
So you did 4.5 years, and you
Yeah.
was only home 11 months.
11 months. They gave me the remainder because like I said, they gave me the remainder of that, which I don't even know how the judge gave me 10 of that, but he gave me 10 of that some kind of way. So I go back with 10 years. And I remember this time when I walked out the courtroom, going to the elevator, go down back, going back to jail, of course.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, I ain't selling no more drugs. It's over with. It ain't working. Because I done got 15 years already.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only 2000. Now it's like 2001. It's about because I've been locked up for a minute. But I was like, man, I ain't selling no more drugs. It's over with. Not that I actually stood on my word, because I definitely sold some more drugs.
Okay.
But I had other thoughts in my mind. But now that I come to think about it, now I realize the rational thought process of an addict. Because even though I might have been over to jail for a minute with no drugs there, I might have been there for 6 months, I'm still thinking like I was when I was out there.
And his second bid was what? You were like desensitized to it? Like you went in and it was...
I went in like
it was like a homecoming, basically.
It was like a family reunion, man.
Mm.
And I remember dudes was like, damn, yo, you back already? How much time you got? And I just fell right back into the same old two-step. But time had changed a little bit. Dawn time had changed a little bit. But, I'm like a chameleon. I can get in where I fit in, however it is.
Mm.
And then that's when I started noticing the progression of violence getting even worse.
So when you was incarcerated, was you incarcerated while you was incarcerated? Like, you know what I mean? Like you was sent to the hole, like you was committing crimes in there?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
So it was...
Sometimes leave this jail to go to that jail because you just ain't making it in. They like, you just your name's popping up a little.
So you're too bad for this jail.
Send you up here where these homegrown mountain boys be at. They'd take care of they'd knock you down a couple notches.
Did they?
No.
It did.
But once I did, I remember they sent me up Cumberland. That was like culture shock.
Okay.
Coming from Jessup to Cumberland. I got up there, I was like, whoa. They was serious up there. So I chilled out. I got high on the low, kept my little workout going.
And it was because of the country boys didn't care nothing about you? Are you talking about the country boys, the inmates, or the
country
COs?
boys, COs? They all country, family.
Oh.
Yeah, do something to one of them, you got to see all of them and all that weird stuff. But, but I was up there, I was like, man, I got 10 years. All I want to do is sniff some smack and work out.
Mm. Yeah, see, you was kind of buff over there, boy. Look at you.
Well, that's just, it's stuck now for so many years. But, because we ain't even got to the good parts yet.
Okay, let's go.
Anyway, as I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, I want to go home. Because I don't want to sell drugs. But I do want to get home and get some money. Like, I got all these thoughts going through my mind. You know how it is when you just want to get out there to come up with this, devise is planning to do this, devise is planning to do that, devise is planning to do this. So I got like 3,500 plans. Mm-hmm. I ain't going to put no action to none of them once they let me out of there. Mm-hmm. But you know how I just keep thinking about, I want to do this. So I was trying to get out. So I was like, man, I got into the law books like serious.
Okay.
I got myself out to 10 years in 5.
Okay, so you only did 5 off the 10.
I did 5 out the 10. So now I'm working on 9 years. Once I got home, it was like, oh yeah, they did make me do a little 18 months I forgot about that 18 months I did in the detention center to come home. Because I was supposed to do a drug program, but for some reason they didn't send me there. They put me on work release, and I did that. So it was 5 years and some change, maybe 6. I get the numbers all mixed up.
You did good on work release?
Yeah. Actually, I did good on work. Never got kicked off. I did what I was supposed to do. I got me a good job. It was my first job ever. Mm-hmm. And I got out. I was on home detention, of course.
That's like an ankle bracelet.
Yeah, ankle bracelet. So I'm going back and forth to work. I can't do nothing on home detention.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember sitting there all the time like, man, I can't wait to get off this box. And as soon as I got off that box, I actually ended up getting locked back up on the box.
What'd you do?
I ain't do nothing. It was straight up.
Yeah, okay, good.
I ain't do nothing, right?
Okay.
But I definitely got locked up on the box where they had to. I got locked up twice on the box, actually.
Wait, what? You didn't call in, or you wasn't where you supposed to be?
I had a weirdo on some bull stuff, and she would get me locked up. That's mine. Mm. Your phone right
there. Okay. All right, go ahead.
But yeah, I got.
So your girlfriend calling the police on you?
Right, that I didn't even live with.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Long story short, my home mom's agent was like, "Look, man, you only got like 90 days. I think 45 days left or something." He was like, "Just do that shit over to jail. Go on about your business, man."
Okay.
So I was like, "Cool." That's where our thought process is messed up. Look, I was doing good. I had this good job. But still, my mind ain't right because when he said do the 45 days, I was like, oh, all right. Nothing.
Forget the job and everything. You just...
Well, a homeboy of mine held the job for me.
Okay, good.
So I come back out with the job. The day I got out was... Actually, yeah, I got out. It was in November. Went and got me a bag of dope.
Day one.
Day one.
Mm. Wow.
I remember my family think I'm doing so good, man. They gave me a boatload of money. I don't know why they gave me money. I had a job. They gave me a boatload of money. It was like, man, get on your feet, man. You know you ain't been working for a month or a half or whatever. They gave me some money. You know, I blew through that. Still went to work. So I remember this was like November. May of that year, which would have been 2005, I quit my job. I was making $21 an hour, doing nothing, running heavy equipment. Half the time I ain't really doing much of nothing, just sitting there. Mm-hmm. And I quit my job because my addict mind, of course I was getting high. Mm-hmm. But my addict mind telling me they owe me more money or they should have me in this position, not this position. You know, It didn't work out too good. So I quit. I remember leaving my job. My homeboy calls me and was like, yo, turn around and come back because you're going to get locked out. Mind you, he'd been in prison many years. So you saying
you quit and you was on your way home and they said, come back.
He was like, come back, yo, because you're going to go to jail. I was like, yeah, whatever. That was May. By May, June, July. Well, maybe it was March. My bad. It was March I quit. By June, I was locked up under federal indictment, facing a whole lot of time.
And what was you doing? You were slinging. So you quit your job and just started slinging drugs and started hustling or whatever?
No. Remember I told you, I said I wasn't selling no more drugs.
So you wasn't. So you kept to that. So you didn't.
Kinda. I sold drugs a little bit on a real small level, just enough to make ends meet. But I got into robbing banks for some reason. I don't know where this came from. It just popped out the blue, like, I run across a homeboy. He like, man, I just came out the. I'm like, what? That easy? He like, yeah, you want to go? Of course.
Oh, wow, that was a smart move, huh?
Yeah, very smart. So that turned into...
We're being sarcastic.
Yeah. I turned into a fiasco. Long story short, I made it till June.
How many banks did you rob? Well, matter of fact, it doesn't even matter, I guess.
I lost count.
That many?
I just lost count.
You wasn't using a gun or anything, right? You was like...
No.
Okay, all right.
Just give me the money.
And they'll give it to you.
They give it to you. It's law. You know how real law.
So you take the money and just blow it. Clothes, drugs.
Yeah, because the drawer only holds $10,000.
Okay.
So you're gonna get from $10,000 down. depending on how fast how early you get there or whatever. But yeah, I would hold on to the money for 4 or 5 days, maybe. Hit another one. 4 or 5 days, hit another one. 4 or 5 days, hit another one.
And then you said you got caught up in a federal indictment or something.
Yeah, because I got caught coming out of the bank. So now the feds got me, so I'm stuck.
How many cases did you get from that?
When on my first affidavit, it was, of course, they had me for the bank they caught me coming out of.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a bunch of suspected banks, which I think it was like 12 suspected because the MO.
Give me the money. Yeah.
Well, the disguise, so on and so forth. But, it would.
I never robbed a bank, so I don't know. But
Well,
I got you.
I wouldn't advise anybody though.
Don't do it.
Not a good idea.
Okay, so the feds locked you up, and you had a habit when they locked you up. Obviously,
serious habit.
You had a serious habit when they locked you up.
Serious habit because I was shooting dope and coke back then.
Speedball. You shooting together.
Speedball. Yeah. So I was, man, and you can imagine, man. I'm coming out the bank with, say I'm coming out there with 8,500, 5,000, whatever the case may be. I'm straight to the man. Yeah. Spending like 300-400 real
So you're risking to spend life in jail just to give the money to somebody else, basically.
Pretty much. That's dumb. That's some weird thinking.
Yes, it is.
I will risk.
You wouldn't have said that back then.
No, but I will
now.
risk my freedom to go take these people money to give it to somebody else to get out, and that's it. And that's all. Just settle on the money till it's gone, or wait till it's real close to be gone and go ahead and know it. But nevertheless.
And the feds, they got you down in wherever.
Yeah, so I ended up, come to find out, the feds are really lenient on robbing banks with your mouth, not a gun.
Okay.
So, and their guidelines are crazy.
Guys, I'm going to let you know, please do not use this information to further your criminal career.
At all.
This channel is used to help addicts trying to find their way in recovery by sharing our stories. Go ahead.
Exactly. Definitely don't do that.
Definitely don't do that.
It's a bonehead move. You're definitely goof trooping if you do that.
Goof trooping.
Yeah, but so my lawyer tells me one day, she like, well, you can only get 5 years. That's what it holds. Well, it's not on robbery, it's robbery. Bank robbery holds 5 years in the feds.
Okay.
So I'm like, cool, give me that.
And you got to do 85% of the time in the feds.
You definitely got to do 85%. So I done already did so much time. I'm like, 5 years, 85% of that.
It's like
my numbers is pretty good, man. That's like 4 years and a couple months.
And how old was you at this time?
I was 25, maybe, something like that. Mm-hmm. I think I was. Let me see. I might, no. I was 30.